Welcome back, guys. Today we're at Kidwelly Castle, and this is the story of a Welsh princess who led an army against the English. Unfortunately, she was captured and beheaded. The battle took place nearby the castle, and it's in 1135 when King Henry I died. No heir. We had no heir at the time, and England was left in turmoil, and her husband led a rebellion against the English at the time. Unfortunately, her husband was away at the time when the English attacked. So here we go, there's the castle itself. Quite a nice one, actually. Nice big gatehouse there. And we'll take a stroll in and see what's what.
There we go. Help yourself to a man.
Yeah, thank you.
There we go. Restrooms just on your left as you go through, and just be careful as you're going around this bit uneven in places.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you
All
very
right,
much. Anybody need keys? You have to turn the phone. You ran up there. They were to talk you down and then you refused to go into the castle.
Oh, is this where he sulked? Yeah, we have been here before a long time ago when Jensen was a lot smaller and he had a tantrum and refused to go in. Oh, gone past the portcullis slot here. As you can see, the gap where the portcullis would have come down. In through the main gate. I'm guessing these would be the guard towers. Arrow slits, obviously, for the archers to fire out of. Yeah, morning.
Sorry, did I ruin your shot?
No, no, you're okay. Going down in here. No, again, we don't know whether these sort of things were. There is a chain there, so perhaps this one was a prison instead of it being a storeroom underground. But there is a chain there, which suggests to me it would have been a prison or a dungeon of some description. There's the chain on the wall. There we go. Like I say, I'm not a medieval historian. My interests lie in the classical period of Greece and Rome, but it's always nice to visit historical sites, no matter what period they are. Now this is quite a bit larger, this one, so got a rough guess this possibly would have been a storeroom at some point. Fireplace. Timeline of the main events affecting the castle. Yeah. Again, explaining the death of the Princess Kidwelly and their 4 sons. Against the Count de Londres. The battle was about 2 kilometres to the northeast of the castle. The castle itself, how it possibly looked in its grandeur. Into the bailey here. Quite impressive towers on this one, as you can see. Take a look up there in a minute or two. again, as you can see from the views, this idea of putting your main centre of control in a prominent place, this idea of dominating the landscape, making any enemies think twice about trying to come and take over. This idea of visibility, strong visibility in the landscape. Guessing this possibly would have been the Great Hall. Again, I'm not sure. Again, we see the, as you see in most castles, square holes in the walls where the builders would have placed planks of wood as they built the castle up as they went, and the big stone blocks that we see sticking out would have been the floor, where the floor and the ceiling would have gone across. Lots of pigeon noises. Again, this wouldn't have been one room, it would have been several floors up, possibly all bedrooms and the like. You know, trying to impress you, well, not only your enemies but your friends as well. Views across the other side. Again, as you can see, the water is just over there in the bay area. So, again, visible from the seaward side from a long way off as well as from the landward side. Further than this, upwards. There's a familiar face. Down into the inner courtyard. So there we go. The main gatehouse from the inside. See, this would have been the kitchen, as it says so there. Into what I'm guessing would have been the ovens. couple of them there. Dark and narrow staircase, danger it says. If you're ever going to visit any castles, be prepared for a lot of climbing. Again, one of the towers with, as you can see, the floors going up to the top. Again, a view from one of the walkways across. Because obviously if the enemy got in through the gate, they could come in for a bit further, block this area off and carry on fighting. Of course the castle wouldn't have been this large at the start. This has obviously been built on over years and centuries. This is the castle at its final stage, as it were. You've got to remember as well, inside all the rooms, all the walls would have been painted plaster in nice colours. It wouldn't have looked all stony as castles do today. Would have been a lot more colourful on the insides. As you can see, interpretation of a well, I wouldn't call it a throne, but the Lord's chair where he would meet with his advisors, etc. There again, this has been plastered white at some point. But again, this was probably a renovation at some point. There would have been a lot more colourful. There's some green there, as you can see. Green painted plaster near the foot there. It wouldn't have all have been plain and drab looking as they do look today. Again, left-handed staircase, so as I mentioned in the previous video, everyone assumes they're always right-handed, when in fact they weren't. Just dispelling another myth about castles. Again, another arrow slot. A bit further. And this is next level up. Yeah, well, it's the top actually, so yeah. Let's do a 360 shot on the top of the tower. Again, would have been a very impressive sight when the castle was in its heyday. Visibility in the landscape. Which is an idea common throughout history. From the days of when we first invented farming and decided to settle down. Instead of hunting and gathering, you needed something prominent to explain to everyone else that this is your land, whether it be a Iron Age hill fort, a Roman fortress, or medieval castle. In fact, we're going to another castle later on, which is built on top of the site of a Roman fortress. So again, the Romans built there for a reason, and the medieval people built their castle there for the same reason. But we'll get to that one when we get to it. Again, nothing to stop you doing your own research if you want to learn more about it all. So this one is Kidwelly Castle. Quite an impressive one actually, with a lot of it still remaining. So there we go everyone, that's Kidwelly. Thank you once again for listening. Please like, comment, subscribe, and we will catch you in the next video.